Creativity and innovation, two words that show up in almost every job description, every business talk, and every TED stage. They're often mentioned together, sometimes even used as synonyms. But here's the thing, they're not the same. Now, understanding how they differ and how they connect is essential if we want to know why some ideas lead to change and some ideas just stop at the idea stage. Hi, my name is Abel, and I really like talking about the psychology of creativity. I have a lot of textbooks about it, and I want to bring all the information that I can straight to you so that you can apply all the principles and all the lessons, strategies, tips, tricks, or whatever to your life. So, welcome to the Creativity Arcade. So back in 2018, researchers Medea Fetrati and Anders Nielsen reviewed a ton of studies regarding creativity and innovation. And here's how they defined it. Creativity is coming up with new and useful ideas, and innovation is putting those ideas into action. So creativity is the thinking part and innovation is the doing part. You can't have innovation without creativity, but being creative alone doesn't guarantee that anything will change. Now, the two get mixed up because they often happen in the same places, like in teams or organizations or in companies, but they actually require opposite skills. Creativity is about exploring, it's messy, open-ended, and it's full of trial and error. Now, innovation is about focusing, it's structured, goal-driven, and it depends on the process. That's why creative people sometimes struggle to bring their ideas to life, and why highly organized systems can kill ideas before they even start. Now, Fetrati and Nielsen continue on to explain how creativity works on three different levels. There's individual creativity, which is your personal ideas and insights, team creativity, which is what happens when groups work together and build on each other's thoughts, and organizational creativity, when the entire system supports new ideas and new ways of thinking. Most studies focus on the individual, but without a culture that supports creativity, those ideas, like I said, often go nowhere. Now, in 2015, another group of researchers, Sarooghi, Lebers, and Burkhepper, looked at more than 50 studies on creativity and innovation. They wanted to see how close the two were actually connected. And get this, they found a correlation of R equals 0.46. Now, if you're not familiar with R, it's a number between 1 and 0 that shows how strongly two things are correlated. 1 would mean a perfect connection, and 0 would mean no connection at all. So at 0.46, creativity and innovation are related, but they're not identical. In other words, having great ideas doesn't guarantee great results. And the data also showed something really interesting. The connection is stronger for individuals, weaker for teams, and weakest for large organizations. So you can look at it this way. When one person controls the whole process, things can move really fast. But when you have to add layers of approval, meetings, and other things like that, things get lost. And it's harder for those ideas to come into fruition. Now, the researchers didn't stop at just saying that creativity and innovation are linked. They also looked at when that link was stronger or weaker depending on the situation. When they broke the data down by level, the connection between creativity and innovation changed. So like I said before, individual had the strongest relationship. It's at a 0.60. Teams had a R equals 0.38. And organizations had an R equals 0.30, which is the weakest link. So that just means that the bigger the system, the harder it is to turn those ideas into action. And they also compared process and product innovation. Process innovation had a R equals 0.57, which is the strongest link, and product innovation had an R equals 0.31, which was the weakest link. In other words, improving how things get done is easier than putting things in the market and creating new ideas based on market rather than the process. And firm size also mattered too. Large firms had an R of 0.51 and small firms had an R equals 0.22, which was the weakest link of it all. Now you can interpret that as bigger companies have more resources, more follow through, more structure to get ideas implemented. And here's the surprising one. Low-tech industries showed a stronger connection than high-tech ones. Low-tech had R equals 0.57 and high-tech had a 0.34. So you can interpret that as high-tech environments have a lot of ideas. They're just blowing up with ideas. But competition, cost, and consistent change make it harder for those ideas to be realized. And they even compared national cultures using something called the uncertainty avoidance, which is how comfortable a culture is with risk and ambiguity. Countries with a moderate uncertainty avoidance had the highest correlation at roughly R equals 0.48. And it went on to say very high or very low uncertainty avoidance lower the connection. But the pattern is consistent though. Places that balance freedom with structure tend to turn more ideas into real results. Now both studies show the same exact thing. Creativity and innovation are often connected together, but they don't always move together. Creativity is about generating options, and innovation is about building and choosing one of them. And balancing between the two is really hard. And as we learned, environments that encourage a lot of ideas can probably make it really difficult to execute them. And environments that focus solely on execution can probably shut down a lot of ideas. And like I said before, creativity gives us new ideas, and innovation makes those ideas work in the real world. And understanding both how they connect and how they differ is what separates a good idea from lasting change. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I aim to post a lot more. I'm really excited that I'm doing these videos. It's been very fun editing, very fun looking at the research. And if you guys have any suggestions, leave them below. Let me know what you thought about this video. Let me know if your workplace encourages creativity and innovation. What do you think about this whole thing? Now, anyway, I'm Abel, and this is Creativity Arcade. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you guys want to see videos similar to this one. See ya. Yep, that's a critical reference. Goodbye.